Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and this is the News Hour at 9. We bring you the breaking news. The Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Satyapal Malik, has dissolved the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. This dissolution of the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly comes at a time when both sides, Sajjad Lone as well as Mehbooba Mufti, had written letters to the Jammu and Kashmir Governor saying that they both had numbers to prove the majority on the floor of the House, and Mehbooba Mufti had even put out a tweet just some time ago saying that she had the support of the Congress party as well as the National Conference and 56 numbers on the floor of the House, but she couldn't reach the Jammu and Kashmir Governor, Mr. Satyapal Malik, and she had tweeted her letter to Satyapal Malik on social media. Now, we just got a press communique from the Raj Bhavan, and this press communique says the Governor, Jammu and Kashmir, Shri Satyapal Malik, has passed an order in exercise of the powers conferred upon him by Clause B of subsection 2 of Section 53 of the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir, dissolving the Legislative Assembly. Following is the text of the order. By virtue of powers vested upon me in terms of proclamation of this powers, I am dissolving the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. Going across to our reporters at this moment, Pradeep Datta joins me from outside the Raj Bhavan in Jammu. Pradeep, what are the details? Is the governor in the Raj Bhavan? What is he saying?
See, right now, information we have got that the governor is very much inside the Raj Bhavan, and Governor's Secretariat has come out with a letter which we had been reading right now, that the assembly has been dissolved. We know that ever since the was in suspended animation, in fact, many of the political parties had been demanding that assembly should be dissolved. But Governor till last had been insisting that he will give chance to the political parties to form the government. But few hours back, we saw that the PDP had already sent the letter to the governor's house saying that they're taking claim for formation of the government. But after that, there was a tweet from Mehbooba Mufti's side, former Chief Minister, where she said that in fact, the letter has not been received by the governor. She tried to fax that letter. Now she is tweeting that letter, asking the governor to look after the letter. For the last half an hour, we are outside the Raj Bhavan. Governor is not meeting anyone. In fact, clear-cut instruction has been there. He is not meeting anyone, but he is very much inside Raj Bhavan. And soon after that, there was in fact a letter that came from the governor's secretariat that says that assembly has been dissolved. So that means now there will be no chances of formation of any government. Now there is going to be a fresh election once again. The people will have to come out and vote for their representatives. That is what some of the political parties had been demanding. But during the last 24 hours, we have seen that there has been certain development where three political parties like National Conference, PDP and Congress, they decided to cobble and stitch an alliance so that they can keep the BJP as well as Sajjad Lone Party, People's Conference out of this government formation. But after that, we saw that there was a meeting between the Omar Abdullah and PDP leader, and finally even the Congress decided that they are going to in fact give all kinds of support to these political parties. But what actually the BJP had been saying, BJP maintained that this is not going to be the true representative character of alliance, because reason being that they represent only one particular section, and that is the Kashmir-centric section. So Jammu region as well as Ladakh region will be ignored. But the problem with the BJP as well as the People's Conference was that they were short of numbers. Even if they would have stitched an alliance together, they were only having 31 numbers, 31 in fact legislators. So they needed a magic number of 44. They were not having that 44 number. So that is one of the reasons they were taking so much time, though they had been claiming that there were certain rebels within both PDP as well as the National Conference who were ready to join them. But till then, they were not able to, in fact, send that list to the governor so that they can form the government. But short while back, in fact, Mehbooba Mufti tweeted that she had already sent, in fact, a letter. Right now, in fact, there has been a tweet from Omar Abdullah's side. I am reading that tweet. He has been Jammu Kashmir National Conference has been pressing for assembly dissolution for 5 months now. It can't be coincidence that within minutes of Mehbooba Mufti letter staking claim, the order to dissolve assembly suddenly appears. So he is in fact criticizing the governor for taking this decision. He said that all of a sudden, how come you think of dissolving assembly? That means you never ever wanted that the other people should come and form the government. That means somewhere he is trying to cast aspersion that governor wanted to keep these political parties away. He said that after in In fact, minutes after the Mehbooba Mufti sent a letter, and all of a sudden the governor has dissolved assemblies, something which they had been demanding for quite some time. They felt that by keeping assembly in suspended animation, there is always a door and scope for horse trading. So they were alleging that BJP was trying to...
So is this in interest of keeping away the charges of horse trading? Is this in interest of trying to keep away any unholy alliance which could have meant Jammu versus Kashmir rather than a government for Jammu and Kashmir? Madhav, you have the details of that letter, the press communique that's come in from Raj Bhavan. What can you tell us and what's the reason? Of course, the BJP will be very clear that there will be guns that will be trained against them for this political expediency under which this decision would have been taken.
Well, absolutely, Navika, and ultimately when it comes to the dissolving of the assembly, as Pradeep was telling us, we all know that this means fresh elections, and clearly, of course, for BJP and for any political party, the argument, of course, is that ultimately the solution is democracy, given that political leaders could not come up with any solution. But I just want to very quickly read out to you the press communique that has come out from Raj Bhavan, and it says the Governor Jammu and Kashmir, Shri Satyapal Malik, has passed an order in exercise of the powers conferred upon him by Clause B of subsection 2 of Section 43 of the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir, dissolving the Legislative Assembly. Following is the text of the order: by virtue of powers vested upon me in terms of Proclamation number 1 P1-/18 of 2018, dated 20th June 2018, issued under subsection 1 of section 92, and exercise of the powers conferred upon me by clause B of the subsection 2 of section 53 of the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir, I hereby dissolve the Legislative Assembly. It's signed by Umang Narula, who is the IAS Principal Secretary to the Governor Jammu and Kashmir. There's certainly, of course, this is something that, as Pradeep was telling us, at a time when, of course, we saw opposition parties like the NC, the PDP, the Congress coming together. We saw also Sajad Loan coming out and in fact staking claim as far as formation of the government comes. It's at that time that this particular notification has come from the governor's office. So obviously we are going to be seeing some reactions coming in from political parties that will in fact come out.
The first reaction coming in from the chief patron of the National Conference, Farooq Abdullah. Our reporters have contacted him on phone and he says it is a good decision and elections will happen now. So Farooq Abdullah welcomes this decision, clearly not comfortable in going with the PDP or the Congress party, welcomes the decision, and Jammu and Kashmir MLA joins me on the phone line, Yusuf Darikami, who is a left MLA who joins me on the phone line. Yusuf Sahab, ये जम्मू एंड कश्मीर गवर्नर साहब सत्यपाल मलिक ने, he has dissolved the assembly. How do you respond to this decision of the governor of Jammu and Kashmir?
You see, the first thing is that it is unfair and unfortunate as well. You see, our major concern has been since 90 that how best we can contribute in promoting political process, democratic process in the state. That has been the primary task. Apart from many other problems, law and order, violence and all that, that of course has been here. But nevertheless, the response to the situation, emerging situation, cannot be by not having the democratic process in place. That is exactly what we have been demanding. That is what exactly I think the national mode has been right from the day first. Now, when you see, the question is, assembly was in suspended animation, and there are political forces. They put it proper that we can claim and we have the numbers to form the government. Due constitutional provisions should have been followed. Better sense could have been, and there should have been given a chance or verified the facts about the support, about other things. Then only it is the governor could have taken a decision, even resolution of the assembly.
Mr. Tarigami, on the other side is the argument which says that there would have been an unholy alliance. A PDP which is a natural contrary competitor of the National Conference would have made a government together which would not have been a stable government. There would have been all sorts of allegations of horse trading.
When we talk about the PDP and BJP alliance, it cannot provide a stable government. We were just mediocre by the argument that yes, here is the number and here is the constitution, here is the democratic frame, which allows even different ideological platforms to come closer.
So isn't early elections a better option?
No, it's not the question. My point is this. You see, they have it was arbitrary, so it suited them, so it was wholly aligned. Now, if some other political parties are trying, who have certain ideological frame or certain concern about the emerging situation, they should have been given the chance. It's not the question of just because it does not suit some political party. Today we have a BJP at the national level, we have BJP as a force in the state. Yes, it's not mean that they can impose the parameters for the democratic process in the state. If that is done, that means we are committing mistakes, we are repeating mistakes we have been committed earlier, and I think it is in the best interest of the people of Jammu and Kashmir and the country as a whole that lessons could have been drawn and everything possible should have been done to promote the political process.
Well, thanks very much for joining us on the phone line, Yusuf Tarigami. I'm opening up the debate. Let me introduce tonight Shehzad Poonawala, lawyer, Khalijur Rahman, former national coordinator of the AICC Minority Department, Suneet Chopra, senior leader of the CPIM, Ashutosh, political analyst, Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist, and Juhi Singh, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. My first question goes to Ashutosh Mishra. Ashutosh Mishra, and look at the tweet that's come out from Mr. Omar Abdullah. Omar Abdullah says the Jammu Kashmir National Conference has been pressing for assembly dissolution for 5 months now. Can we just put out that tweet on air? It can't be a coincidence that within minutes of Mehbooba Mufti Sahiba letter staking claim, the order to dissolve the assembly suddenly appears. The Jammu and Kashmir Raj Bhavan urgently needs a new fax machine because this letter was not getting transmitted on the fax machine to the Jammu and Kashmir governor. Ashutosh Mishra.
So, I think in the long run, BJP might be hoisted on its own petard. The governor was uncomfortable, it seems, with the other parties tying up, non-BJP parties coming together. And maybe now the people of Jammu and Kashmir will get a chance to exercise their votes more after giving it a more balanced thought. I mean, we just had panchayat elections. So if we have in a democracy, it has to be people's will. If the people had elected...
So you're happy. Are you welcoming the move for dissolving the assembly or not?
I think the MLA should have been given a chance. Whether there is a majority or not should be decided in assembly.
And unholy alliances being formed.
Why is there a danger of horse trading only when other parties are involved? Can't similar thinking parties get together?
Shehzad Poonawala, respond to Ashutosh Mishra. Why does this scare come in only when PDP, National Conference and a Mahagathbandhan of Congress is coming together? Why not an unholy alliance of PDP and BJP be questioned in the first place?
No, Ashutosh Mishra has all the right to question all kinds of alliances. Till yesterday, those who were fighting against each other come together for the sake of power, that's fine. But the point is that there was a demand by all parties or most parties and most players in Jammu Kashmir that the elections should be held so that the mandate of the people can be taken, and therefore if that step has been taken by the governor, now you can question his timing. If you think there is a legal point there, you can go to the courts and challenge it. If you don't want a dissolution, then I think NC should come out and say we are not happy with the dissolution of the assembly. But as far as Farooq Abdullah has said, he's accepting it, he's welcoming it, he's calling for early polls. So I think that it is a decision that is favoring his Man Ki Baat. I don't know why you need to nitpick on this. In fact, it is good that a fair and free election will be held rather than there be horse trading in the assembly.
Well, very valid point. And let me put out one more fact. And if our desk can prepare the graphics of this, let's put the claims of Mehbooba Mufti on one hand. She says 56 MLAs with her. On the other hand, Sajjad Lone has also claimed some MLAs with him. Now, if he says 18 MLAs referred from the PDP are with him, then that's more than 50% of the PDP that Sajjad Lone is splitting. Which means that Mehbooba Mufti's bravado is only to save her own party. So Ashutosh ji, isn't this important for the governor to prevent the jod-tod ki rajniti in Jammu and Kashmir when he orders the dissolution of the assembly? Ashutosh?
Navika, I want to remind you about the Supreme Court order on Arunachal Pradesh on 16th July 2016, and it very clearly states it is in fact a guideline for the governor of any state. It says the governor must remain aloof from any disagreement, discontent or dissension within political parties. The activities within a political party confirming turbulence or unrest within its ranks are beyond the concern of the governor. It further says the governor must keep clear of any political horse trading and even unsavory political manipulations. This was said by the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Kehar, on the Arunachal Pradesh judgment, and it very clearly said the governor has no business to look into whether there is a horse trading happening, whether there is unholy alliances are happening, and if the three political parties they have intended that they want to form the government, it is not the governor's Raj Bhavan which is the right platform to prove the majority. Anybody who has state claim, if Mehbooba has a state claim, she should have been given a chance to prove its majority on the floor of the house. If she had not done that, she would certainly forfeit the right to form the government. But governor here has gone against the Supreme Court verdict on Arunachal Pradesh. He has acted anti-democratically, he has acted against the constitution, he has acted against the Supreme Court verdict, he has violated the guidelines set by Supreme Court on Arunachal Pradesh matter in 2016, 15th July. That is my concern, and I think Satyapal Malik has no business to be there.
National spokesperson of the BJP joins the debate. Dr. Sambit Patra, charges flowing thick and fast. The timing of the dissolution of the assembly, you're being questioned. Is the governor only preventing the formation of a government because it doesn't suit the BJP?
See, ironically, Navika, these are the very people who were questioning as to why the governor had not dissolved the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, when in fact the Bharatiya Janata Party PDP coalition, they went apart. So naturally today, in fact, when the governor dissolves the house, they are contradictorily speaking. This shows their selectivism, this shows their frustration. Secondly, and most importantly, as far as the Jammu Kashmir situation is concerned, it's not very clear. Let me tell you, we have to be patient and we have to wait as to what has transpired there. Secondly, and most importantly, Navika, as far as Jammu Kashmir is concerned, security is the prime issue. We all have to see that as far as PDP, National Conference and Congress's political ambition step ladder is concerned, the only agenda, it seems, was self-sustenance, as to how PDP sustains itself, as to how the National Conference and the Congress sustains itself. I firmly believe that self-sustenance is the second fiddle. The most important issue should be as to how the concerns of security of a sensitive state like Jammu Kashmir is addressed. And most importantly, there were news across that horse trading was rampantly going on. Navika, would you agree that a state as sensitive as Jammu Kashmir should be thrown to the stable for horse trading? Of course not. Political instability, horse trading would be the casualties on which national security would be the first casualty.
Ashutosh is raising his hand. Crossfire between Dr. Sambit Patra and Ashutosh. Yes, Ashutosh, respond to Dr. Sambit Patra.
Navika, yesterday only I was told that Supreme Court guidelines, nobody has a right to question that. Today, the Bharatiya Janata Party's spokesperson is openly going against the Supreme Court guidelines. Supreme Court guidelines is very clear. Governor has no business to get into this, whether there is a horse trading is happening or the political manipulation is happening or not. So that means that Satyapal Malik has acted against the Supreme Court verdict and acted against the constitution and acted against the democracy. Now I want to know who is governor when the Supreme Court has set the guidelines, who is the governor to flout that? Is governor not getting into the content
Dr.
of the
Sambit Patra, respond.
Is governor
respond to Ashutosh.
Absolute discretion and absolute power to decide?
If he's quiet only, then I respond. Now, thank you, Ashutosh ji. See, as far as Jammu Kashmir state is concerned, we have to be reminded umpteenly, we have to be reminded of the fact that Jammu Kashmir is a special state, a state where security is of prime importance. Over there, bringing in petty politics of the kind that we are seeing right now is not desirable. Secondly, Navika, I was watching your channel people and your reporters. Just a second, so I was not shouting when you were speaking. If I'm right, please, if I'm wrong, please correct me, Navika. I believe your reporters had contacted Mr. Farooq Abdullah and Mr. Farooq Abdullah had welcomed the move. When Mr. Farooq Abdullah has already welcomed the move, that means the National Conference has welcomed the move. Where is this unison that you all are speaking about? I mean, Mr. Ashutosh.
Time is up. Let me get in reactions from the two major political parties on the show.
Farooq Abdullah is no Arvind Kejriwal, sir. He is the head of a political party, sir.
Sunit Chopra and Juhi Singh also on the show. Mr. Sunit Chopra.
Navika, I want to ask a simple question to Mr. Sambit Patra. Does he believe that Jammu Kashmir is a part of India and the Indian constitution applies in Jammu and Kashmir? If so, then Supreme Court guidelines also applies to Jammu and Kashmir. It also applies to the governor of Jammu and Kashmir.
Then how can
Kejriwal,
who does not believe that Jammu and Kashmir is not part of India, sir?
Verdict set by the Supreme Court.
Balidan Mukherjee, wo Kashmir hamara hai.
Well, respond to that.
Navika, I have answered him. I am no Prashant Bhushan or Arvind Kejriwal who would stand for a referendum on Jammu Kashmir. Of course, I firmly believe that Jammu and Kashmir is part of India. That's the reason as to why I firmly say that security is of prime importance as far as Jammu Kashmir is concerned. Is horse trading and does compromising with security take Jammu Kashmir to the level next, or does it only demean Jammu Kashmir and the aspirations of the people of Jammu Kashmir? I firmly believe that the former is true.
You are not answering my question. Do you think the governor is above constitution? Do you think governor is above Supreme Court?
I am answering your question, sir.
Your government thinks
who says that? Who says that? Has the Supreme Court in any way, has anyone moved the Supreme Court challenging this decision? Has the Supreme Court spoken against the government in this case? No, why should you be shouting like this, Mr. Ashutosh, when no one has moved the Supreme Court, when no one has spoken against the governor? Why should you be shouting like that? Move the Supreme Court if you feel that the governor is wrong. Let the Supreme Court take a decision.
I have read Supreme Court.
All right, another case almost ready to reach the Supreme Court. But let's look at the numbers. Dynas versus Democrats. Look at Omar Abdullah, Rahul Gandhi and Mehbooba Mufti. 55 seats on one side. On the other side are 29 seats. The magic number is 44. Sajjad Lone says he can get 18 from the other side onto this side. I want to ask Mr. Sunit Chopra. Mr. Sunit Chopra, if 18 numbers from the 55 come on to this side, which is the claim Sajjad Lone was making, what would this have meant for stability of any government formation in Jammu and Kashmir?
In fact, if we believe those who will side with BJP are going to succeed, then we are fooling ourselves. I think Yusuf Tariqami was very clear. We should not repeat mistakes. And by that he means we should not put the interests of the BJP above the interests of the people of Kashmir. And the people of Kashmir would have done much better to have at least a floor test. Succeed or not is another matter. And the Supreme Court judgment for Arunachal is extremely important.
All right, Dr. Sambit Patra. Dr. Sambit Patra, the question is simply this. Would the governor have been better advised to allow a floor test rather than a hurried dissolution of the assembly when Mehbooba Mufti puts out her stake claim on Twitter, and she puts out the fact that the governor's fax machine is not working. You know, there's a rat that everybody is smelling here.
See, Navika, first and foremost, let me tell you, I am not the spokesperson of the governor's office. I am the spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party. As far as this allegation that Bharatiya Janata Party does not want to see to it that any other government in Jammu and Kashmir should have been formed, that's absolutely wrong. Because we all know the fact that Bharatiya Janata Party was the first one to dissolve the coalition between BJP and PDP. Even PDP acknowledged the fact that we were not informed in advance that this coalition was going down the drains. And so I would say that the ambition of Bharatiya Janata Party to form a government, and that is the reason as to why the governor dissolved the house, is unfounded and absolutely wrong. Secondly, and extremely importantly over here, as rightly pointed out, there are two poles, and horse trading was out in the open. What do you feel? Stability and security, these two S are extremely important in Jammu and Kashmir. An unstable government founded only on the basis of serving one's own aspiration, political ambition. Is that what Jammu Kashmir wants?
All right, that's the moot point. Should people get a fresh chance to elect people as per their choice, or should we have gone through this charade of PDP and NC and Congress and all sorts of patchwork governments coming together?
Navika, but this charade already the BJP went through when they formed the government with the PDP. They fought against them. It's very convenient now to take the high moral ground, but they govern and they are responsible for the conditions, the so-called stability or security in Jammu and Kashmir. The BJP better take responsibility. And if the main opposition party is saying that they wanted the governor to dissolve the assembly, okay, we'll have elections. But governors have known to be sleeping also in Bihar. Their fax machines don't work, so it's convenient. And frankly, for the BJP to come and say that the governor's office is a non-partisan office is amusing, that's all I can say. But of course, it's to the people now, and it's the government's decision, and anybody who wants to challenge it can
rest at the governor's doorstep. When will Governor Satyapal Malik break his silence? Because there are several questions that have been raised, questions that deserve an answer. Ghulam Nabi Azad, senior leader of the Congress party, has reacted. Let's listen in to Ghulam Nabi Azad.
कॉन्फ्रेंस की तरफ से जो इत्तला मिली है कि उन्होंने भी अभी अपने लेजिस्लेचर वालों से बात नहीं की है, उनको भी एक सजेशन आया था, प्रपोजल आया था। तो ऐसे प्रपोजल आते हैं। ये दूसरी बात है कि प्रपोजल आने पर ही, सजेशन आने पर ही भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने विधानसभा भंग कर दी।
सर, खबरें आ रही है कि राज्यपाल शासन, राष्ट्रपति शासन है वहाँ पे, आपका क्या मानना कि गवर्नमेंट तो फॉर्म होनी चाहिए ना डेमोक्रेटिक तरीके? नहीं,
गवर्नमेंट हमारी यह है कि अब इलेक्शन, विधानसभा डिसॉल्व हो गई, अभी तो विधानसभा डिसॉल्व हो गई और वहाँ इलेक्शन होने चाहिए। 2-4 महीने के अंदर अंदर इलेक्शन होनी चाहिए। विंटर खत्म होती है, इलेक्शन होने।
ऐसी खबरें आ रही है कि पीडीपी के कुछ विधायक जो रहे हैं वो
विधायक का भरा ही नहीं, विधानसभा जब डिसॉल्व हो, जब पहले
थे तो वो बीजेपी के टच में है।
नहीं, मेरी जानकारी नहीं है। उनको टच होने की क्या जरूरत है, वो तो सरकार इकट्ठे 3 साल मिलाई। लेकिन हमारा और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का कोई एमएलए बीजेपी।
Well, even Ghulam Nabi Azad says that these were only proposals so far by Mehbooba Mufti to National Conference and to the Congress party. There was no stitched up deal for a government. He has actually welcomed the dissolution of the assembly and has expressed desire that elections are held within the next 3 or 4 months. So, if Mr. Omar Abdullah is actually going to find some political capital, I suggest that both Mehbooba Mufti and Omar Abdullah speak to the Congress party, which seems to suggest that these were only proposals, nothing had been finalized so far.
Navika.
Well, we'll conclude this debate. We'll wait for the governor to give his side of the story. How soon will he speak? We'll wait and watch out for that. That's debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight. JK Assembly dissolved. Going across to debate number 2 on the other side.